What's going on, guys? It's Tom. I'm back with another video. Listen, on this video, I wanted to talk about whether, do you need to get a Philippine SIM card if you're coming here to visit, again, or to live? The answer may surprise you. Uh, Actually, you don't, you know, and especially, if you're coming here to visit, right? So you have a USA cell phone carrier that has data, and some of them will cover you in other countries at least for a period of 3 months. You know what I mean? Like for example, Google Fi, which is what I have, they do cover you for. So in other words, if you're just visiting for 3 months or less, the Philippines or any other country, uh, they'll cover you. Your data will work. In other words, of course, your phone is going to work, but your phone is likely going to have long distance charges. Like if you make a regular phone call, which nobody does anymore, really. I mean, not much, right? You're certainly not going to want to get in the habit of doing that when you're in another country because whatever you got figured out. I mean, there might be some long distance service thing that you use that's, oh, it's only 7 cents a minute, or whatever. But the normal fee, could be, if you don't do anything, if you don't make those arrangements to find some long distance, type of a system to use on your cell phone, like for a regular phone call that's international. If you don't do that, it's going to be up to like 20 cents a minute or whatever. So obviously, most people use the chat apps, like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, Google Meet, which used to be Google Duo, right? Now it's just Google Meet, handles all even one-on-one phone calls, video calls, or just audio calls. You don't, you might not want to always do a video chat with somebody like in the U.S. when you're in the Philippines, but you could do an audio, you know. Um, so from that standpoint, right? But you're still gonna want data, right? I mean, it's kind of nice if you have data, because then you can use Google Maps or whatever, right? If you're renting a car here in the Philippines, or the Waze app, or one of those like driving directional apps. But just for other things, like just when you're when you don't have Wi-Fi, to be able to use your internet or whatever on your phone. And that's what the data allows you to do, when you still have data. Um, so, but I will tell you this, right? Now, if you're coming here to live, and with Google Fi, man, I would recommend, if you're coming here to live, don't tell them, like if you happen to call customer service for whatever reason, don't say, "Oh, I'm living here in the Philippines" or whatever. And you might be tempted to do so because maybe the guy on the other end of the line, the customer service guy, is a Filipino working in a call center, over here. So you might be like, "Oh, I'm gonna, you know, uh, this that's pretty cool. I'm gonna tell them I'm living here." No, don't do that because if you do that and they know you're living outside the U.S., they will cut you off after 3 months. Like, whereas if you don't tell them, just don't tell them. Even if you have to call customer service, just don't mention it. Just say, "Oh, I'm traveling." You know, don't tell them you're living outside, the U.S. because, then they won't. If they don't know, then you might be able to extend your data coverage, right, outside the U.S. for a lot longer than 3 months. Let's just put it that way. You but this is what I do, right? Like I don't have I've been living here for over 2 years, and I just have my regular, my Google Fi, and the basic plan. I mean, the texting is unlimited and free, even internationally. I can text my family members or whatever in the U.S. for free. I can text people. I could text a Filipino phone, you know, like a regular text, and for free. But if I call somebody in the Philippines on this phone, or somebody in the US, it's either way, it's going to be like a long distance call. It's going to be like 20 cents a minute. So I rarely do that, you know. In fact, the only time I ever do that here in the Philippines where I call somebody is if you call a landline, you know, because sometimes if you're calling a doctor's office to make an appointment here or, you know, at a hospital, the main line, it's going to be a landline. And I'll let you in on something, man. A lot of these Philippine SIM cards, they can't call a landline. They can only call another mobile phone in the Philippines, you know. So you know, you got a girlfriend or wife or whatever, and you might think, "Oh, I'll use her phone to call this hospital to make an appointment, for example, you know, for a doctor's appointment or to see if to make sure my doctor is in today and what hours and all that, right?" They won't be able to call from their cell phone. So you know that's the positives of having like a U.S. phone. You could actually call a landline here. You know, if you still got your U.S. phone, your U.S. cell carrier, you could call a landline. You can call any number. You can call obviously a mobile number too. You know, in the Philippines. You know, a Filipino phone number, cell number. So you know it kind of comes in handy, right? Now, but you might wonder, well, what do you do for data if you don't have a Philippine SIM card? I use a company that I think they're based out of Singapore, and they're called FlexiRoam, and you can get data from them, and it's like an eSIM card, an electronic SIM card, so you don't have to worry about some physical SIM card that you have to install or whatever. It's just electronic. Once you put it on there, it's on there, you know, and then you just extend the plan. You know, you buy 6 months maybe at a time, right? And you can buy a lot of data too. You know, they have different plans. You know, you could buy like 10 gigabytes, you know, for whatever, 6 months, or you can buy 20 gigabytes for a year. Sorry, for 1 year. So, which is what I actually did recently. You know, I was able to, I never bought a big plan like that through them, but I was like, wow, that's pretty good. You know, like it was like 20 gigs for a year. And that's enough because, you know, you're mostly you're on Wi-Fi. If you're, you know, when you're at home and stuff, you're probably going to have internet, right? So, you know, that's only when you go out, you know what I mean? When you need the data or whatever. So, you know, and if you're not watching like videos, like YouTube videos and all that stuff from your phone, from your data, your data will last a long time. You know what I mean? Like you know, if it's just basic stuff, checking email or whatever, or texting on some app or whatever, it's gonna last a long time. You're not gonna blow through that much data, you know. And you can find good deals with FlexiRoam. Like you gotta wait until they have the every month they've got some kind of deal, like 70% off, you know, 50% off, 80% off, you know. So just wait until they got the deal, and don't wait until your plan is almost expired. You know, like just because you can buy additional, you can renew your plan or extend your plan even a couple of months before it expires. You know, before you know what I mean. Your time length expires on your plan. You know, so once you buy your plan, you've got like 3 months to activate it. You know what I mean? So you can buy it that far in advance before your current plan expires. So it's kind of nice, you know? And it's very reasonable. You know what I mean? Like you might spend whatever, 50 or $70, but you're talking about for 6 months worth of data or even a year, you know? I mean, it's definitely competitive with what you're going to pay for a Filipino SIM card, you know? So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this because, you know, maybe a lot of guys don't know about this. There's probably guys that have been living here for a long time that don't know about this. I saw somebody, a traveling expat, and they weren't even in the Philippines. They were like in Mexico or something living, American couple, and they did a video on this. That's how I found out about it, like a while back, you know, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, that's cool, you know. So anyway, it works good, man. And they use the local carrier. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, they're going to use Globe here in the Philippines, at least in the Manila area. They're gonna hook you up to Globe, but I mean, but you're not using a Globe SIM card. You're using their SIM card, and the service is pretty reliable. You know. So, all right, guys, that's all I wanted to talk about. That's the end of this video. So please, I do appreciate if you guys, hit the like button if you like this information. Share it with somebody who you think might want the info. And if you're not already doing so, please subscribe. It's free of charge. I will charge you nothing to subscribe. All right, man. I'll see you later. Have a good day.